Don't skip this video. If you listen to this story to the very end, maybe not today, but one day, you will start looking at your life differently. Because this is not a movie. This is the story of a man who once had only 2 Taka in his pocket. And when you hear the ending, you'll understand one truth. Your beginning never decides your future. Let's begin. That day, Rahat had only 2 Taka in his pocket. His stomach burned with hunger, and his mind was filled with thousands of questions. Will I ever become something big in life? People around him were laughing. Even his own relatives said, "You are nothing. You will never become anything." But they didn't know. Those 2 Taka would one day turn into crores. The morning started like every other day. Sunlight came through the tin roof of their fragile house. Rahat woke up to the sound of his mother coughing. His father had passed away long ago. The weight of responsibility, poverty, and constant humiliation pressed heavily on his chest every single day. Rahat was just an ordinary village boy. His name was ordinary, but his dreams were not. He loved going to school, but he couldn't afford to buy books. When his classmates wore new clothes, he sat quietly on the bench. When teachers asked, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" everyone answered, "Doctor, engineer." Rahat said nothing, because he knew if he spoke his dream, people would laugh. One day, on his way home from school, he met his uncle, the same uncle who always said, "This boy will never succeed." That day, the uncle didn't stop. He said, "A poor boy like you dreaming of becoming rich? Stop dreaming, Rahat. Face reality." Those words pierced deep into Rahat's heart. That night, he cried a lot. But after the tears, he made a decision. I will prove them wrong. The next morning, his mother sent him to the market. She placed only 2 Taka in his hand and said, "Let's see if you can do something with this." Rahat stood there for a long time holding those 2 coins. Just 2 Taka. Can anything really change with this? Suddenly, he noticed a man selling snacks beside the market. The man was busy, but he looked happy. Rahat walked up to him and said, "Uncle, can I get some snacks for 2 Taka?" The man smiled and gave him snacks worth 2 Taka. Rahat stood at one corner of the market. Nearby, small children were playing. Rahat called out, "2 Taka snacks for 1 Taka." People were shocked. 1 Taka profit. That day, Rahat learned his first lesson. Business doesn't start big, it starts small. That evening, he went home and told his mother everything. She was scared at first. Then she said, "If you stay honest, Allah will help you." That's when his struggle truly began. After school, sometimes he sold snacks, sometimes peanuts, sometimes ice cream. Sun, rain, insults, nothing spared him. His friends laughed. "Here comes Rahat the shopkeeper." Rahat didn't laugh. He calculated. One day, he noticed people bought more in the evening, so he chose the evening hours. One day, he earned 2 Taka. The next day, 5, then 10. He saved every coin. He bought nothing for himself. His priorities were simple: medicine for his mother and food for the family. Time passed. Rahat grew older. He somehow finished school. He got into college, but he couldn't survive without working alongside his studies. One day, he went to the city looking for work. No one hired him. One place said, "No experience." Another said, "You don't look suitable." That day, Rahat sat down on a city sidewalk. He had only 50 Taka in his pocket. Looking up at the sky, he whispered, "Allah, am I walking the wrong path?" Just then, he noticed a man talking on his phone about selling something online. A light turned on in Rahat's mind. He went back home and started learning about the internet. A boy used to borrow his friend's phone to watch YouTube. Through it, he learned online selling, digital work, marketing. His first online venture was opening a small page. At first, no one trusted him. No orders came.
One day, his first order arrived. Just 300 taka. Tears filled Rahat's eyes. He knew this 300 taka wasn't just money, it was trust. From that day on, he worked day and night. He made mistakes, learned, and stood up again. He was cheated many times, but he never stopped. Soon, his monthly income became 10,000 taka, then 20,000 taka, then 50,000 taka. His uncle said, "Lucky you." Rahat thought to himself, "No, this is hard work." He built his own business, hired people, moved from the village to the city. One day, he handed his mother a brand new sari. She cried. She said, "You did it, son." Time didn't stop. Rahat didn't stop. 5 years later, he couldn't believe the number in his bank account. 1 crore taka. That day, he stood in front of his uncle's house. His uncle said, "You've really achieved something big." Rahat smiled. He didn't say anything, because he knew all words come before success, not after. He still works today. He still learns today. He is still humble today, because he never forgot. Once he had only 2 taka in his pocket. But Rahat's story didn't end at 1 crore. That was when the real test of his life began. The first thing he realized after having a crore, money doesn't change people, it reveals them. Those who once ignored his calls now started calling him bro. Those who said, "This boy will never achieve anything," now sought his advice. But Rahat knew, trusting everyone blindly could bring him back to zero in a moment. He didn't build a big house for himself. He didn't buy an expensive car. He first strengthened his business. He began teaching new people how to work. The boys from his village, who were once as neglected as he had been, now work in his office. One day he visited the school in his village, where once he couldn't even afford books. The principal was astonished to see him. Rahat said, "No student from this school should ever drop out due to lack of resources." He created a fund. Books, notebooks, fees, he took care of it all. That day, a small boy came and said, "Brother, I want to be successful like you." Rahat crouched down and said, "Not like me, be bigger than me." But life never follows a straight path. A year later, a big loss came. A major deal fell through. Some people betrayed him. The crore in his bank account dropped instantly. Rahat remembered those old days, the footpath, the 2 taka, the hunger. He didn't get scared, because he knew someone who rose from zero can rise again. He told himself, money can go, but skills, if they go, everything is lost. He started over, smarter, more carefully, this time not just for himself, but to build a brand, a name, a trust. Gradually, the business stood strong again, stronger than before. One day, his story appeared in the media. The headline read, "From 2 taka to crorepati, the story of an unstoppable fighter." His uncle called. His voice shook. He said, "Forgive me. Thank you. See you in the next video." Rahat said, "You made me strong." Today, Rahat is not just a crorepati. He's a guide. He knows not everyone will become a crorepati, but everyone can change their life. If you are at zero today, if everyone underestimates you, if you have only 2 taka in your pocket, remember this story, because your beginning never decides your future. Your decisions do. This story is not just Rahat's, it's for those who no one believes in today. If you are at zero today, if you have no money, this channel is for you. Here, no fake dreams are shown, only real struggle, real people, and real transformation. Believe in yourself and stay with us, because today you are listening to a story. Tomorrow, someone will listen to yours. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Until then, may the Almighty keep us all safe and well.